I did a presentation on the blobfish once.
I did a presentation on MatPat.
Yo.
It's like
I actually one
vastly
time
different.
I did two others. One I did Pokemon. Obviously, I had.
Oh
to get
yeah,
there.
you told me about that. Yeah.
The other one was I described Transformers a bit, and then I just transformed one in front of a class.
Show and tell.
Okay, that's kind of sick, though.
That's awesome. That's actually sick. Can you imagine going to class, but like it's not like the toy Transformers. Like they bring in their car, and it's like, all right, and then it just like transforms, and everyone's like, oh my god, what is that thing doing?
I was like, and here's the show and tell part, and like you didn't bring anything today. It's just your slide a fucking car drives in from the wall.
It's like the Kool-Aid man. It just drives through the wall. Oh yeah!
It drives through, and then it does one of those like Transformers movie poster things. Like, oh.
I know this was the test recording. Is this just going to be the cold open now?
Nope, this is the cold open. Welcome to MallTalk. Welcome to the MallTalk podcast. I am your host, Kush. These are my two beautiful co-hosts, Hunter and Camilla. And today, we actually have three topics, but our main topic is going to... Oh, okay. Yep, he's gone. Yup, that's pretty good. Honestly, all things considered, that's pretty good.
For like the 5 seconds I took to draw that.
Alright, so our main topic today is going to be the Sonic movie franchise and what's happening beyond, and mainly Sonic 3. We're also going to be giving a slight update on the Minecraft movie, and we're going to get a little bit of news on the Nintendo Switch 2. So how about we get right into it, starting with the Switch 2.
Alright, Switch 2. So, we know literally nothing, except it's bigger and might have a mouse. Which actually, I will say, I didn't think about it, but I saw someone mention how a while ago Nintendo did a license with like COD and stuff. So
that's true. Because they did have Call of Duty games like before, but it was like on the Wii. They had like I think one or two Call of Duty games on the Wii, and they didn't really get that great of reception. I think also on the 3DS, but that's like ignore that.
I mean, it's the 3DS.
Exactly, because it's the 3DS, and I feel like because we also know about like the new like computing power that the Switch 2 is going to have from the NVIDIA like not collaboration, but they're working with NVIDIA.
Yep, that we definitely officially know about Nintendo.
Well, okay, yeah, no,
but
allegedly
they're working with NVIDIA back in
allegedly
base Switch.
Allegedly, yeah, they're working with NVIDIA back on base Switch, but the fact that they're like enhancing it, and I think they got not RTX, but they got like an advanced like label of it. I don't know like the particular.
It's not like we're making money on this. I saw from the rumors that the Switch 2...
hold on. We could get a sponsor like later.
We could, but not on this current video.
Not on this current video. Yeah. So
okay.
Continue.
From what I've seen, the Switch 2 could supposedly, take this with a grain of salt, the thing's been leaked for like a decade now.
Yeah, that's true. It's been like almost what, like 7-8 years?
Something like that. I mean, like, the second the Switch comes out as well, the Switch 2 is right around the corner. Apparently, it should run similarly to, like, a PS4, if not a bit below. Which is good for a handheld.
Yeah, that's very good for a handheld.
Especially when you compare it to the Nintendo Switch, which is, like, barely better than a 3DS.
It can barely run its own games.
Yeah. Like, there's a lot of games on the Switch where you give them a bit of a break when it comes to lagging and FPS stuff, because you know they'd run better on literally any other console.
And then there's also the fact that like there is like a noticeable quality difference between the Switch being docked and in portable.
Yeah. Well, that's also just inevitable with any like dual purpose console. It's obviously going to be better when it's powered, when it's in its original dock, when it actually has like a good screen to go to.
Yeah, when you put the Nintendo Switch 2, it's PS4 and handheld. When you put it into the TV screen, it's a PS8 quality.
Of course, yeah.
double the number.
Double the number, so it better be double the quality.
Double the number, double the quality. Hey, look, you know what's better than a 3DS? A 6DS.
Of course. Let me actually search for this real quick. I'm pretty sure there was a little leak for a Nintendo Direct coming pretty soon.
February, yeah.
February?
I want to say I heard February.
Wait. Here it is.
A week or two.
Nintendo Direct. Nintendo Switch 2, April 2nd, 2025 will air Wednesday, April 2nd, 2020. Yeah, no duh, but we'll offer a closer look at Nintendo Switch 2 than its successor. But I think we're having one before that.
Yeah,
I think there's one in February.
There's a Direct in February, but I think it has nothing to do... Well, I think there's a Direct. I could have misheard or misread.
I think it's like kind of closing off the end of the Switch's lifeline.
Well,
which
okay. I actually
is probably going to be like... Yeah, go ahead. Go.
So I think with us knowing from like the Game Freak leaks that they're still up to Gen 10, at least working on compatibility with Switch 1, I'm wondering if it's a Nintendo initiative as a backup in case the Switch 2 fails like the Wii U.
Yeah.
Well, no, but part of it's also just things take a while to port. Like, you look at like the PS5, even like base Switch, games were still coming out for the Switch after the Switch, or for the 3DS after the Switch came out.
Yeah.
Games for the PS4 were still coming out after the PS5.
I know. I'm just saying,
of like PS5 compatible games.
I think
PS4 also had PS4 games. I don't think it's really a Nintendo thing about it being flop, more so than it's just a developer / game thing. That's just kind of a natural thing.
I think it's more specific for the Wii, from the Wii to the Wii U, because of, well, I would say the big fail for the Wii U was marketing. And I think that's what Hunter was trying to get at, but I could be wrong.
People didn't, I think there are multiple factors, like, people didn't understand the advantage of the Wii U with how it looked the same, but it had a little pad thing. And it just, there wasn't a lot of marketing. It's, as someone into toys, I can tell you it's the same thing of, I really want this Optimus Prime toy, but...
But then you're kind of like tying it to game development, though. Like, I don't think it really
it's
has
still
anything to do with game
within like
development.
advertising. It's still within advertising. That's very important for the lifeline of it.
Yeah, but it's like you get a new system, and it's inevitable to think that things are still going to come out for the old system. It's not like everything's just going to drop.
Yeah, it's not going to drop, but it's slowly going to transition.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like everything's going to drop, but I think they're going to play it much safer than they did and make the Switch last a bit longer.
Right.
At the end of the day, your mom's going to see them, and you have this one at home. You want this one, but it's still Optimus Prime. It's still the red and blue truck guy. Is the Switch 2 going to fall into the same trap of it's similar, like too similar to the original Switch for parents to get it? And especially if it's closer to a $500 price tag.
Which I think has been like the consistent speculation among the community.
From the rumor I heard is that it's like $450 and $500 with like a Mario game, but like thing bundle or something.
For $500 sounds about right, based on like the PS5 and like other things coming out.
Right.
Realistically, there's a lot of stuff that has to go into it, so I would get the price. I just think, obviously, I think if Nintendo's smart, which I do think they overall are with their marketing and stuff, they will not go all in on the Switch 2, at least for a couple years, to see how it sells.
I wouldn't say a couple of years. I think that's like a fairly good ballpark, but I feel like it's not going to be like a linear, like, we drop this one and then we add a little support for the Switch 2. We drop this one, add a little more support. I think it's more so going to be like a
I think they're going to go all in on the Switch 2. But I also think they're not going to try to cut the Switch OLED, Switch Lite out of the equation unless they make a new Switch Lite or something like that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously, because like the 3DS kept getting support until just last year. Despite the fact that the Switch has been out for so long, the 3DS was still had online compatibility both in the eShop and in games.
Yeah, I'm not saying that as much as like I just don't think they're going to. I think they're going to market it and try to market it, but I also doubt that they're not going to have a backup plan in the works as a just in case it's another Wii U. Like, if you were to tell me that they've already worked on possible sketches for another console and like ideated on it just in case it's another Wii U situation so they don't have to wait that long, I wouldn't not believe it.
One other thing I wanted to like briefly talk about in terms of the Switch 2 was I think based off of a couple of like posts Masahiro Sakurai has made, either we are getting Smash 6, like a reveal like late this year, or because of the mouse functionality, we could be getting either a new Kid Icarus game or like a remaster of a Kid Icarus game. Well, more specifically,
didn't he say back in Ultimate that he was like done with Smash Bros? Like Smash Bros was kind of done?
No. He said for the Switch, he wouldn't make another for the Switch, right? He said he'd make one for the next console.
No, he said that he is currently done being like the head of it. So I think it's going to be like a situation of like Scott Cawthon in Five Nights at Freddy's, where he was like the big head of it and he was doing kind of everything, and then it slowly moved to like, okay,
Smash
Scott's
isn't
doing a little
die.
bit less. Yeah, Smash is never gonna. It's the same thing of like Disney. Like Disney is never going to die. Smash Bros is never going to die, because as long as Nintendo exists, Smash Bros is inevitably going to exist.
As long as it sells. That's kind of, I can't speak as I don't know the numbers, but I thought I heard that Kid Icarus didn't sell great. So I don't know if it would be
Kid Icarus, yeah, but Kid Icarus Uprising, was it?
Uprising sold, I think, pretty well.
Yeah, Uprising sold really well, and it was like really popular. Like maybe like a game like not many people had heard of, but those who did were like, okay, this is a good fucking game.
Yeah, it was. There were a lot. I was, at least in middle school, I was a huge Kid Icarus fan. I loved Uprising a lot.
Anything I've heard about Uprising has been good things.
Yeah, it's been.
There's a difference between good publicity and good sales numbers. I'm not saying they don't correlate, but
yeah, of course,
they don't consistently.
Yeah, because I still like. Actually, right now, I'll check the numbers for.
I'm not like
Kid
gonna
Icarus
pretend I'm the most qualified on
Uprising
things, but I will say from a marketing perspective, if I were Nintendo, I would release definitely a new Smash game, a brand new Mario game.
I think we're getting a new Mario game or a remaster Mario game for the Switch too, but again, that's just a leak. We don't know.
Yeah, I'd focus on trying to make it new to get that hype. Make it maybe a new Mario Odyssey kind of thing. Like new Smash, new that, and then a few other games to like kind of keep it on that are like exclusive, like gimmicky things.
I think one big question I feel is like what I care about the most personally is I've never really cared about the gimmicky games, and it's like things like Mario and Smash are kind of like obvious shoo-ins. I'm curious what the next Legend of, like, what the next Breath of the Wild will be.
Well,
like, in not like a Zelda game, but in like a big game that sells the system.
Oh,
that is like a game itself that is revolutionary and sells the system.
That's probably going to be Metroid Prime 4. If I'm being honest, I think that's going to be Metroid Prime 4.
They've been working on that thing forever. If it isn't Metroid Prime 4, that's
exactly. That's like, this has been announced in like, I think 2014. It's been almost 10 years. This has to be revolutionary. It obviously, at least all of the Metroid Prime games are incredible. I have played all of them. They're all incredible games. So I feel like Metroid Prime is going to like be successful, obviously.
Imagine
but I also think it's going. Honestly, I wouldn't doubt if it was a Kirby game, because Kirby hasn't like, because the Forgotten Land, if I remember correctly,
they had Optimus Prime, right? Is that the one with Optimus Prime? You know, where he eats cars and stuff? That's
it is the one with Optimus Prime.
Yeah.
To my memory, it didn't sell that well. And honestly, I think it was because it wasn't that innovative. I feel like it needed more to it, so I feel like it definitely could be Kirby.
Yeah, I think there's too many factors to limit it to just one thing or the other. As in, like, you could put out two identical movies, and depending on how they're marketed, how people receive the brand, or just the characters, maybe even just the color of the costume of the character could take it down. At the end of the day, we aren't who they're selling to. It's kids. What do kids want to see?
That's going to be their target audience. Whether like the sales will show it or not, they're always going to target towards kids, because I feel like the adults are almost always going to be like, hey, that's the new console. That's going to have a game I like. I'm going to go buy that.
Generally, Nintendo is a kid's brand.
Exactly.
And you're never...
Personally, I disagree on the fact that they're not going to advertise to adults. Look back at the Switch. The Switch was advertised to teenagers / adults, even more so than the whole family aspect, I'd say. especially looking back at the early Switch trailers. And sure, kids are a big like, oh, they're kids. If they play video games, they have a lot of time to. But you also need to keep in mind that adults are the ones who have the money. Adults are the ones who will buy a bunch of games.
Yeah, and the kids are the ones that are going to go to the adults and say, hello, can I have the console? Also, I peed the bed. Can you please clean that up?
Nintendo is going to, from a marketing perspective, they're going to shoot for both markets. They're going to want both. Hardcore Nintendo fans, they're not going to target to as hard because they're going to assume they already have them in their belt.
Yeah, exactly. Which is mostly the adults.
They're going to target towards, I do agree, they're going to target towards teenagers, young adults. They're going to try to get them on board too. You want the younger generation. You always want to get the younger generation because the old people are going to move on eventually. Well,
sorry, that's a funny thought. Those goddamn old people, they're going to move on eventually. They're not going to care about your Nintendos or your Tic Tacs. I don't know.
Well, it's more from like a brand longevity thing. Transformers, for example, isn't a thing right now where we're relying a lot on nostalgia and older people, and the younger demographic stuff isn't selling as well.
Right.
So it's sort of a thing to sustain the brand for longer than someone in their 30s is going to live or be able to afford to, because maybe they'll have a kid, maybe they can't do that anymore. They need to like focus on that kind of stuff.
Right.
Overall, they're going to market to moms, I'd say. Moms are a good shoe-in. They're going to market to kids, and they're going to probably market to teens as the cool new hip thing. They're going to market to all of them. I think overall a family aspect.
I mean, that doesn't mean you still can't market to adults.
Yeah, absolutely, because it's still it's the target, though. Like, they're obviously marketing to everybody, but their target is going to be the kids, the moms, the teens.
Even so, like, I don't know, I still just don't think that, like, things are always necessarily as shoe-ins as you think. Because this is a console worth a lot of money. Even for adults who have the money, it's still kind of a big commitment to throw in. If they perhaps, like, I don't know, maybe like, didn't have the, like, certain parts of the Switch didn't have, like, a good experience to them. Like, for example, the kickstand was something they showed off in the trailer because that's something people didn't really have positive experiences with. You still kind of need to advertise to me. Sure, a lot of people my age are automatic shoo-ins for Pokemon, but personally, I've lost a lot of faith in the franchise. I need them to convince me, and I'm sure that there are probably people like that as well who are going to be like, okay, what does the Switch 2 bring to the table that's new for me?
Well, I agree, but it's also the fact that in the particular scenario you're talking about where it's Pokemon as a franchise, that's a franchise. Well, this is a console, and people are going to be obviously attracted to the console because of the titles on it. No one's going to see it and be like, oh, that's a cool kickstand. I'm going to buy it because of that kickstand. People are going to see the titles on it and be like, hey, that's a pretty good console. This is a game I really like. This is a franchise I really like. I'm going to get this console.
The console itself isn't what's going to sell it. It's going to be its exclusive games. That's always how it's going to be.
That's always how Nintendo's been. They haven't ever been like ahead of the game, but they've always had their exclusive. They've had Mario. No one else has Mario. They have Zelda. No one else has Zelda. They have Metroid. No one else has Metroid. They had Star Fox. Now I'm pretty sure Xbox has Star Fox. I don't know what the fuck happened, but apparently Xbox has Star Fox now.
But then this goes into, okay, marketing the games rather than the system. And then you're back at, okay, now we're looking at the individual games demographics rather than the actual system itself.
And most of Nintendo's games are towards a kid's demographic. They're going to
I don't see it quite as towards a kid's demographic, and more so kids games that can be enjoyed by adults too.
You're not understanding what's being said. Yes, a kid's game can be enjoyed by everyone, but there are huge numbers in a company that they're looking at. They're like much bigger. Power Rangers, for example. You're going to have the more adult fans that grew up that really love it and want to come back and watch it again. But your main target is the kids. They're the people you want for it because they're the next generation. They're going to sustain the franchise, and they're who you're going to try to sell the toys to. It's not whether the games can't be enjoyed or not. It's not that they don't want the adult money and that they won't market it to you. It's just going to be they're most likely going to focus the majority of their budget on kids and family stuff to get the moms and the kids. That's just corporations work in much bigger numbers generally. I'm not going to pretend I'm the most expert on this, but like I keep up.
I feel like out of us three, you're probably the expert on it, though.
I keep up with the stuff because of stuff I like. I watch people that are more experts in it. Like, example, it even comes down to just timing. It even comes down to just things in general. Transformers 1 was marketed poorly as they marketed as a generic kids movie swap when it wasn't that at all. That was a movie that shouldn't have been marketed like that. It should have been marketed towards adults, more people of all ages, because that's what they needed. And they tried
their target was still children.
Their target was still kids. At the end of the day, I'm a collector. I'm buying this, and they're counting on that, and they're marketing it to me. That's why this is a toy based off a character design from 2007. Marketing it to me. But at the end of the day, they're counting on those kids' sales too, because it's still Optimus Prime.
Absolutely, yeah.
But then their target audience is kind of everyone, though. Like, your target audience is both the existing fans and...
You don't understand what a target audience is. There's multiple audiences. A target is who you're going to focus your budget on getting. A target audience is who you want to get in this particular scenario. It's not as much like you're going to have so many people of so many different demographics coming in. It's not ever going to just be one specific demographic, but you're going to choose a demographic you try to sell something to.
Because Pokemon, for example, like Pokemon is marketing for kids, but we're adults. We enjoy our funny little Pokemons. We enjoy getting the merchandise for our funny little Pokemon. So
Pokemon cards,
they focus on the children, but it just so happens we were children once, and now we will buy it.
Yeah,
and they're trying to capture that same thing for the younger children, so it keeps happening and the cycle repeats.
It doesn't mean you're excluded, and it doesn't mean they're not thinking about you. They are thinking about you because they want to make sure you're still entertained and you're keeping up. But when it comes to their general, like, corporate margins that really matter, the hardcore fans always make up the least amount of it. I can guarantee Transformers 1 was a box office failure, and I can guarantee every hardcore Transformers fan saw it. Because that's not what you need. That's not what should have been targeted to, and that's not what was targeted to. And that's not whatever should have been, of course. But there's a lot of things, like, going on. You're going to sell... let me look at my desk for something.
Here, wait. Here, I got something for you. Sell this.
Okay, cars. The Cars demographic is generally going to be its pitch at a kid's audience, but they're going to include mature story themes for the adults and for the people that are going to come back. Think about it this way. Think about it, what's a good TV show example?
Or you could do like Larry from Pokemon.
Like, I have a TV show. Okay. Let's say Classic SpongeBob. Classic SpongeBob was marketed towards kids. It was a kid's show, and that was completely where the marketing went. But they still made sure to incorporate elements that kept older audiences and parents engaged, and they could sell there too.
Great example for that, Bluey. Yep. Like, Bluey is ultimately a kid's show, but it's like it has the colors, it has like the fun little characters, it has the fun drawings. But then there are the deeper core themes of like, oh, I have to move for a job for the betterment of my family. And like a kid's not going to go and be like, yep, that's what they got me here for. They're going to go like, oh, they got me here for the colors. But the parents are going to... They got me here for the dog.
But, okay, the one thing of that is like, okay, this kind of media is media meant for kids that we're making so that adults can enjoy as well. Things like game consoles are made so that adults and kids enjoy them.
Right.
Nintendo is
I get that they're a family company, but it's also like there's a difference between something meant for kids that adults that can also enjoy. It's like the adults part is kind of a supplemental thing. Whereas with things like game consoles, it's both.
If you were to look at the Nintendo Switch's sales margins, I can guarantee 90% of the sales are going to come from moms, dads, like, that are buying it for their family to have fun game nights and stuff. Maybe not 90, but more like 70.
I don't doubt that. However, I think Camilla is making the point that if it's only... Like, it's obviously not just marketing to, like, the moms, the dads, and the kids.
No,
which
it's not.
Honestly, now that I think about it, that's fucking everybody, but, like, let's proceed with that. It's more so, they are advertising to everybody. And then they have a couple core features that say, hey, kiddos, moms, dads, it's maybe a good thing.
That's why they put out things like the specs, the details of a console to get
That's for the adults.
Interested. That's their marketing for
that's what we're here. That's what we're here for.
That's the marketing for us and the older audience. That's their marketing for that. When they focus on a TV show ad or an ad they're going to put on Facebook, they're going to be trying to win over the moms or the kids to be like, hey, buy that. They're trying to get the people.
Well, that's just media specific. Like
that's marketing.
Method of.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That is literally just marketing.
That is the definition of marketing.
Well, then, what are? Okay, well, now I'm just confused. Like, what we're talking about.
I've been talking about this the whole time. I guess you've been on your own tangent the whole time.
I thought we were talking about like how we're marketing to.
Kush and I are on the same page. I think you were just on a different.
I'm trying
page.
to get on the same page with both of you, and we're trying to converge this into a book. And this is going to be an.
I thought we were going to talk about like who is it for. That's what I was kind of hearing.
It's for everyone, but when they're marketing
it's for everyone,
things,
but they're marketing it to a specific group. Well, no, that's not accurate. Actually,
they're marketing it towards everyone.
Yeah, they're marketing it towards everyone.
Yes, and no.
we're on the same page with that. It's marketed to everybody, but there are specific features that are displayed that will have more people inclined for each part. Like for the Switch, for example, I bet a bunch of parents saw, a portable console. My kid can take that in the car and he'll shut the fuck up. Perfect. And then I bet a bunch of adults would be like, oh my God, I'm going to be on the airplane. I'm so bored. I can just pull out my Switch and I can play a game.
Yeah, and there were advertisements for both of them. There were advertisements for adults playing on the airplane and then kids also playing in the car.
Yeah, so there was the audience for both.
But it's not like it's exclusively advertised towards kids.
But it's never going to be exclusively advertised.
There's going to be a majority advertisement.
Yeah, it's majority advertisement. That's not going to be exclusive.
At the end of it, the first Switch 2 trailer, I think, is very targeted towards the hardcore, more adult gamers. It shows off very basic features. It's a sleek color scheme. I imagine we're going to have more fun ones, but it's all gray, black, whatever you want to call the color.
Yeah, because if you show that to like a kid, they're gonna like if you show that to like a 2-year-old, they're gonna look at that and be like, "What the fuck is happening? What is going on the screen?" Yeah, exactly.
But one other thing for me is like if I think back to when the Switch was first getting announced, I explicitly remember a lot more of those teenage/adult ads, at least for base Switch.
I mean,
I would say that's pretty accurate, especially given the first one, which was like, oh, looks like I got to take my dog out to the park. Let me just take my Switch out and go play Breath of the Wild at the park.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like a lot of those early like Switch trailers were really focused towards the teenage/adult demographic.
I think. Well, I'm not arguing against that. I am saying don't focus on the early ones.
The overall target audience is going to be towards children, but from trailer to trailer and media to media, there will be different audiences.
Multiple trailers, but more are going to be focused on kids. And don't focus on the first Switch 1 trailers. Those are not what you should focus on, I'd argue.
Since we're focusing on the Switch 2, I guess I agree. But we're also trying to find source material to base it off of, because we only have one thing right now.
No, well, here, let me explain.
Okay.
They would have learned from those marketing experiences what worked and what didn't, what got the console to sell and what didn't. And then that's why we have the ads we have now. So focus on the ads from the past few years, because those are what they learned when they actually saw people's reactions. They saw the sales numbers. Those are going to be more accurate to how they market the Switch 2, because they've learned.
I suppose, yeah. Because I think there was a big spike for Mario Wonder, so I totally get that. Because
though it at least feels for me of what I've seen of Nintendo, specifically ads for the console itself, just as a console.
Sure.
Feel like those kind of drift more towards the teenage adult audience. Whereas any of the kind of more kids family audiences always tie a game into it. Like any kind of I remember Wii U advertisement, they'd always put Super Mario Bros. U. A lot of Switch advertisements, they'd always put Wonder or U Deluxe or Odyssey. It's oftentimes if they're just showing off the console and what the console can do, it's more of an adult trailer. Whereas if they show it off with a game, specifically a game like a Mario game, it tends to be more so of a kid's trailer. Just something I've personally noticed
See,
from
I
both
agree.
Switch, but Wii U and Wii.
That's what I'm trying to get into here. Is the first Switch 2 trailer, I do think is very more adult, teenage focused. I do think that it is. It shows off things like the kickstand, like you mentioned, the mouse feature, or whatever the hell. It's probably a mouse feature, but it'd be funnier if they just did that for no reason.
Look at it, go to the console!
They're marketing the things that are going to appeal to your adult demographic that are going to care about those things. Most of the ads, though, at least that I've seen, are going to be a family playing on a fun game night, showing off Mario Kart and showing how cool Peach is.
True. Well, another thing I kind of like,
if they're trying to directly advertise the console, like they did with the first reveal trailer, then it is going to lean more adult. But most of their ads are going to advertise it with a game, with an incentive for a kid or a mom or something. So they advertise to both. But you've got your opinions. Once they've done a certain amount of trailers on what the Switch console can do, you've already got people's opinions set on it, and you know that they're probably going to be watching YouTubers now and their experience to get that. So they need to get it to the people who don't know what they're talking about, who don't know what they're thinking about, and the moms and the kids that just know they like Mario, or that my damn kids won't spend time with me. And so
I got you the Switch. Now sit down with me. We're going to church. Just turn down the volume. You can play Mario Kart, but
just mute it. We'll sit in the back. You're just like in prayer time, and you hear a lot of clicking.
You're in prayer time, and you just hear "Let's go."
Dear God, please forgive us for all our sins and help us.
And then you hear like a bullet bill.
That'd be rad.
I think it's time to move on to the next topic.
It is time to move on. So next topic, let's get.
Is this going to be a short one? I feel like. Do you want to talk Minecraft movie?
Oh yeah, I thought
Minecraft movie will be short. Yeah.
I feel like
Minecraft the whole episode, and I was like,
oh no. Just this next segment is likely going to be pretty short.
Let's see. Minecraft movie, I actually think, is a great example of it. They're marketing towards kids because those are who they're trying to get as their general demographic. Kids, moms, stuff like that. Like,
it's like, hey, Jack Black's in there, Jason Momoa's in there. Jason Momoa's in there. Like,
that's why in like a KFC ad or like a 411 Thunder ad, you're gonna see like really shredded, shirtless versions of them because you're trying to get the moms to be down to watch it with their kids or go there with their kids.
I don't necessarily agree for the KFC, but Thor: Love and Thunder I get.
No, remember those KFC ads where I made the hot Colonel Sanders?
Oh my god, and that did work. No, you're right, because that actually did work. Oh, that's stupid. But, okay, do you mind if I just take a bit of a lead here?
Can I just say one thing?
Yeah, please, go ahead.
Ever since I was young, I yearned for the mines.
Yeah, no, banger line. I think that definitely is going to get, like, teens in there. It's going to be like, haha, that funny line, let's go watch this movie. It's probably going to be dog shit, but let's go watch it.
The thing is, people like Jack Black, but that's also kind of, before we get into that, celebrities haven't been selling movies as much as they used to.
Yeah, because, like, we have Borderlands. Yeah. That had Jack Black in it. Fucking flopped. Absolutely horrible. But then we have a movie like the FNAF movie. We didn't have that many famous actors. I mean, we had, like, Josh Hutcherson, which was, like, probably, like, the star actor there. I get also, like, Matthew Lillard. And that didn't really sell it. It sold it because it was Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah. Not as an insult. I'm also just saying it probably did way better because it probably had a really low budget for the type of movie it was.
No, absolutely. Yeah. So I think a lot of things I saw in the trailer kind of made me, like, feel a bit better about the movie. I feel like, generally speaking, they did a way better job than the original teaser. They did way better.
I'm sorry to interrupt. It's just
go ahead.
On that reminds me of Transformers 1 in the sense that they did do a better job portraying the tone in I forgot the word. Following trailers. sequential trailers, I think is more what I was going for. But it was too late. The first trailer, the first impression, that's what 90% of the like common people are going to see and go with.
Right.
So I think Minecraft will probably be fine. I'm just saying the second trailer can lock in all it wants. The first trailer still probably screwed it out of what it could have been.
Absolutely. No, I completely agree. I think one thing I really enjoyed about the trailer is that it didn't take itself too seriously. It was like, this is a goofy little time. This is a goofy time.
As it shouldn't, and no offense, I just don't think Minecraft's particularly a franchise that should be treated in a serious way.
Well, yeah, of course, because like there's like this.
It's fucking Lego Brickmen, pretty much.
The first like teaser was like, "Hey, look at me! I'm so serious. I'm gonna fight all these enemies. I am Steve." It was like, it's the fucking worst. It's like, that's so serious. Not how Minecraft should be treated. However, in the trailer, they did a great job at just making it seem like, oh, this is a silly time. It's like Jason Momoa, I'm not even joking. This is the funniest part of the movie, is that Jason Momoa's character is that he is a washed up esports player from like the 80s, and he is holding on to that for dear life. Like that's his
Billy Mitchell.
Exactly, he's Billy Mitchell. Billy Mitchell in Minecraft. Are you telling me that's not going to get you to the theater? Like, that'll absolutely get me to the theater. That's
here's
hilarious.
The problem. I would say, as someone who's not really a avid fan of playing Minecraft, I'd probably be similar boat to like most people, and like that, or have to be pitched to it. And that I didn't know that. I genuinely didn't know that until you just told me that.
Yeah, I think. Well, that's what was part of like in. I don't remember what it was. It was in one of the Minecraft live events, and they're like, hey, let's get a little bit of word on the Minecraft movie, and they talked about that.
So and that's kind of
that's I think a place it kind of like falls. It's like, do you really want to be advertising this to Minecraft fans, or do you want to advertise this to people who are looking for a goofy movie?
And admittedly, as someone who's not like, I like Minecraft, I play Minecraft, I didn't hear about this second trailer or this bits about Jason Momoa. Like, yeah, I like Minecraft. I'm definitely the target audience, but like, I didn't.
I think a lot of advertising has been. I'm not going to for this. I could go on a rant for how bad I think Paramount is at marketing and how bad.
Paramount's terrible at.
I think Paramount's genuinely the worst partner you could have if you're in the movie scope currently. I think genuinely Paramount's the worst. I'm not going to get into that, but I think a lot of movies that have come out recently could have done way better if they marketed things differently, or if they didn't, I don't know, put the other furry live action thing next to the fucking Lion King.
Like, come on, man. Like,
or put Transformers 1, an animated robot movie, next to the only other animated robot movie of the year.
God.
And the movie, I want to make it clear, the movie was done 2 months before it came out because they had early screenings.
Right. God.
But let's get back to Minecraft.
Yeah, back to Minecraft.
Thank God they're not partnered with Paramount.
At this point,
they might as well.
They might as well be.
I think good marketing is that you can walk up to some guy, in our case on the college campus, and you can say, did you see that new Captain America trailer? And they say, oh yeah, or oh, that's cool, I'll check it out right now. Instead of, oh, they had a new trailer.
Yeah, exactly. That's how a lot of people reacted to the Minecraft trailers. Like, oh, they got a new trailer, cool. And they're not like, oh, that's pretty cool, I'll go check it out.
That's in part because you really only have one chance to really, like, you have one chance to sell it. And that's what
you have one chance to get that reaction out. And the I'm going to be honest, the best part of the original teaser was the fucking Beatles. That's the best part of it, is that they had the Beatles in that. Yeah. And everything else was so bad. I think, what the hell? It's like, shut up.
Yeah. Like, there are a lot of first reaction things that are going to determine things. Like, I can already tell you, now, I could be wrong, I think Holy Horror Mansion is going to be a flop of the game. because it's
It's
been almost a year and it only has like 147 views on the video.
Well, to be fair, we also
147,000. Let me make it clear. It's on 147 views.
I just
wait.
wanna...
It's been a year since.
Almost, well, not a year, but almost like. God,
like I think like 6 months. I feel like 6 months is a pretty good estimate.
I thought it was like 6 months ago.
I'd say a bit over half a year.
Yeah, that sounds about accurate. Because it was like mid-September?
Was this pre or post My Hero ending?
Oh,
you know how it's like before
actually,
Christ, after death? It's
post.
My Hero.
That was post. That was
Okay.
post because we talked about it when we were in school.
You're right. So yeah, 6 months is more accurate. I probably said a year because it was supposed to come out in April.
Right.
Um,
I mean, at this point, we don't even know when we're getting the game. We could be getting the game in like years. So honestly,
well, yeah, but that's
they
also,
could like reset their opinion. People will like probably reset their opinions. On
more. Holy Horror Mansion made it very clear in its first trailer they're targeting kids,
right?
And kids are who are going to be on YouTube a lot, and no one saw it. I don't know if that's a level 5 problem because level 5 doesn't seem to be in the best spot either.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, everyone's on fucking YouTube a lot.
Huh?
Everyone's on YouTube, but when you think of like YouTube, you think of like YouTube Shorts kids.
Yeah, when I think
that's the only reason I say that.
I think level 5 just. I don't think it's going to sell well. I don't think level 5 is going to make some big comeback. I
agree.
I would like.
It's unfortunate, but they're not.
I would like
not gonna go great.
if before that happens, they can put 4 out in the West. But like,
that's wishful thinking.
No, okay. Hear me out though. They released 3 in the West in 2019. 2 years after the 3DS was irrelevant compared to the Switch.
Well, hold on. Wait. You might be. Wait, hold on. You might be onto something.
That's
you put it that way.
That came out like 2019, right?
Yeah, but yeah, 2 years. So I'm just saying, especially with COVID delays, they're getting right on their mark for.
Actually, hold on. Editing Kush, make this into a short. You have a point. That's a really good point.
The Switch is about to be outdated.
The Switch is about to be outdated.
So it's right about high time that they release the game.
Oh, yeah. Make that into a short. I'm marking that. Okay, back to Minecraft. Honestly, the trailer's just okay. There's nothing outstanding about it. As from a Minecraft fan, a big Minecraft fan, I love Minecraft.
We can see that.
So, yeah. Okay, yes. I'll just say, I love Minecraft. But looking at this movie, I think about it the same way we thought about Space Jam 2. We went to go watch Space Jam 2. We were not expecting a good movie. We were expecting, we're going to go here, we're going to make fun of this movie, and we're going to have a good time.
Don't see Minecraft alone.
Exactly. Don't see Minecraft alone unless you're like
100%.
Philza or Mumbo Jumbo.
I will say,
like, if you're a YouTuber, go see it alone or with your like wife.
I will say, I know like a lot of the hardcore people. I don't know if ever people criticize it. I actually have nothing wrong with like the goofy little Minecraft animation world with the humans in it.
Here's the thing. I don't either. I don't have a problem with that because otherwise, how the fuck are you supposed to transition Minecraft into the real world?
Also,
otherwise,
be real.
You fucking can't.
Let's be real. Hyper-realistic Creeper would traumatize children.
I mean, to be fair, the Creeper depiction in the movie is pretty accurate because what the Creeper is literally grass that explodes.
Sonic movie original design.
Yeah, that's another thing I want to talk about. A lot of people are going towards the Minecraft movie with the thought of, we did the same thing with the Sonic movie. We complained about it, so let's go complain about it and maybe they'll change it. This is very, very different.
It's very different, different company. Paramount has actually, believe it or not, they've shown that they're willing to change if they think it'll help sales in the past. The 2007 movie, Optimus Prime, was originally going to be voiced by Liam Neeson, and when fans found out about that,
actually?
Yeah.
Really?
Or at least that's who they were shooting for. When fans found out about that, they were upset because they wanted Optimus Prime, Peter Cullen, the original voice actor, back. So they did a petition and stuff, and then they changed it, and it became Peter Cullen.
Right.
So Paramount has in the past pre-Sonic proven they're willing to work with fans if they think it'll benefit them and if there's enough outcry. I will give that to Paramount. I'm not that fond of them overall with their marketing and stuff like that. And I think they made a lot of bad business decisions. I still think they are very receptive to fans, and I will give them that.
Absolutely.
Though the one thing is that the thing with the Minecraft movie is it feels the kind of way that the Mario movie did. Where with movies like the Sonic and FNAF movies, those movies are love letters to their respective series. Minecraft, the Mario movie, and Minecraft by extension is a dumb kids movie.
I don't agree with that.
That's how I
think all of, except for FNAF, all of them are dumb kids movies.
Yeah, they really are. Sonic 3 is like the only one that got more serious because Shadow's more serious.
No, like, yes, they're all kids movies in a sense, but
do you mean like how in Mario and Minecraft there are just so many more goofs and it's like, hey, this is gonna be a goofy story. Don't expect like. But then in the trailers for like Sonic and FNAF, you see like, oh, this alien, I'm gonna save your planet. I'm gonna help you. Is that what you mean? Because
Maria's dead.
Yeah.
No, like I'm excluding Sonic 3 from this. I'm talking about like base Sonic movie, where it's just.
The first Sonic movie was almost the exact opposite of a love letter to fans, I'd argue.
Yeah. I feel like that's...
It was the safest, most generic movie they could have done with Sonic the Hedgehog. Robotnik didn't even look like Robotnik.
This is a hot take. I like Sonic 1 Robotnik.
Well, I do too. It's just
I'm not arguing that,
different.
But you're trying to argue it's a love letter to the fans, and it's everything but that.
Yeah.
And that's not bad. I think
Sonic 2 was a great love letter. I think that was a great love letter to the fans.
I have nothing wrong with Sonic 1. I love Sonic 1 as a movie.
To the fans, but just Sonic 1 wasn't a love letter. It was just,
Sonic 1
they're playing it safe. It's just safe. That's all they were doing.
I don't know how to put it. Like I just got more serious vibes from Sonic. I got just more serious vibes from movies like Sonic compared to Minecraft.
I was just about to say he literally fucking flosses.
I don't know what to tell you. A development.
Well, even from a development position, like
I don't know much about Minecraft, but the only thing I've seen is like from like the background things for the movie is like that. It does seem they are like at least interested, whether they actually did a good job at that.
Yeah,
or not.
Like Jeb and like a lot of like the employees in like Mojang, well, not for Mojang, I guess now for Microsoft, are like very incorporated into this project. They're very related to the project. So
think about it
this obviously
way.
Love in it. Whether it's a good thing, it's not. So it's not a good love letter. But
I think people like don't like completely. I agree, loving something's going to help, but it doesn't always matter, especially because loving something doesn't make it good. Absolutely. I'm going to bring up a great example. The Last Jedi. Rian Johnson
oh my God.
is a huge fan of Star Wars, but that's one of the shittiest movies I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I guess I'm just not entirely sure just how to articulate my thoughts on it.
Yeah, no, I think, let me put a jab at it. You feel like it's not being as respected, treated as holy as like the previous stuff. Like you feel like it's more treated like a cash grab than something that people would want.
Not necessarily the holy part, but I guess kind of the cash grab part. Yeah,
I don't necessarily agree for the Mario movie because that was
I also don't agree with the Mario movie because the Mario movie, I feel like
that was such a good love letter. That was just it was so
the Mario
good
movie did a very good job with that.
They did a great, like, despite it being like Bowser's Jack Black. Come watch the movie, guys. Like, besides that, I feel like
I'm not the person to talk to this because I don't like the Mario movie.
Really?
I don't like it.
Yeah, most people.
I think it's way overhyped.
Okay, I think that's just a bias then. I feel like
I think your thing with the Mario movie is taking in a bias. I think,
but I like Mario. Like.
But that doesn't.
Yeah, I'm saying specifically for the movie. I feel like
but you can't judge it completely fairly on that because I look at more general numbers. Like,
bias means like an outside source. I'm biased because I don't like the movie.
Yeah,
it's like what you guys are saying.
That's actually exactly what bias is.
Yeah, that's what a bias is.
That's the definition of bias.
So how do you say I don't like the movie without being biased about the Mario movie?
You not liking the movie is a bias. That's fine. We're not saying that's not fine.
You're judging it based off of that. You're not judging it like as its own movie. Well,
no, I am judging that
because you haven't you haven't
You're judging
articulated it in the way that you feel, right? But
it's like you said how it's not like a love letter or something like that, but that's just because you didn't enjoy it.
Well, I don't want to say that. I think it's more so.
You guys were saying I was being biased for not liking the movie. I am being biased for not liking the Mario movie because I don't like the Mario movie. That doesn't make any sense.
No, that's not what I mean. I mean that you're being biased towards judging it as not a love letter because you don't like the movie. That's what I mean.
You're taking your bias in that. Not that the Mario movie is not my favorite movie of all time.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to also put bias in a marketing thing. When I'm looking at it from a business standpoint, Transformers 1 is a fantastic movie and a great love letter. It's everything I could have wanted from a Transformers movie. But when you look at sales, it's not the right thing, and there shouldn't be a sequel.
Well, yeah, but that's different from the Mario movie. That's a movie that people liked and didn't sell well. Mario movie is a movie that was frankly kind of mid and sold well.
But that's your opinion.
That's your opinion. That's the thing. That's you at pure numbers, you just gotta take it on what it sold well and what'll be on Rotten Tomatoes or something like that. My opinion that I enjoy Transformers Rise of the Beast, but on a more objective level, it's mid at best. There's a lot of things going into it. It's just there are a lot of little nods to the Mario fandom and stuff, just where you can't say it's not a love letter, even if it's bad or mid.
I guess in that aspect, love letter was the wrong word to use from my point.
You can say you don't like the tone, and that's something that doesn't affect any bias doesn't come into play with that. But you can't say something like a love letter or something like that, because then that gets into things that a bias will hold against if you don't try to look at it more objectively.
I think one way I could possibly see where you're coming from is how faithful it is to source material. Because I guess you could say for Sonic 1, 2, and 3, there are some clear inspirations. For Five Nights at Freddy's, there's a very clear inspiration. But then you look at the Mario movie and you wonder it follows the general storyline. Mario saves someone. But it's taking a very, very different approach to it. Is that more what you mean? Because also Minecraft, it's impossible to take a good approach at that for a movie.
I will say Mario's a lot like Sonic in the fact that literally every time a writer does something, they have to figure out an origin story because there is not a concrete one.
Yeah.
Maybe, I guess trying to put it into words again, with the Mario movie and what at least of...
Maybe type it out and read it.
No.
What the fuck? Just let her talk.
I guess what I'm almost trying to say is this might not be exactly what I mean, but with the Mario movie, it felt like, hey, look, cool, Mario reference, bam, rather than actually trying to tell a story, whether it was the Mario story or not.
Okay, I completely agree with that for Minecraft. But in terms of the Mario movie, I don't necessarily agree. But I get your point 100%.
I agree.
I completely agree.
I agree there were tons of references to play it safe, but it did it did have a story in there that was still being told that did take advantages of the reference.
Whether it was a good story or not,
whether you think it was good or
that's subjective.
Not.
So I don't think that's a fair thing to say here.
There was a story that used references to progress aspects of it.
I mean, you literally saw Mario and Luigi playing fucking Kid Icarus. You saw them playing Kid Icarus in the movie. That is just, hey, look, cool reference. But then there was still the cohesive story. It's hey, look, we're going to go save my brother from King Bowser, and he has the star.
I think what you're more looking for as a comparison would be a lot of the modern Star Wars things, where there's nothing really there, and then Yoda just shows up, and you just go, whoa!
No, I think I don't want to put words in your mouth, but from what I've
that is kind of what I'm saying, and that is in a sense basically how I feel about the Mario movie personally. So that's why it is a valid compare. I think that's why it was getting mixed up, because it's a valid comparison in my head, because that's how I feel the Mario movie plays out to me, but not necessarily you all. And like to me, it's going to be on that same level as how I felt the Mario movie was. Where it's feel like, oh, reference pops up regardless of if it's like a good movie or not. Like it doesn't really sort of
because like
that is like you guys have how you feel about the Mario movie. To me, the Mario movie didn't feel like it entirely tried story-wise, but this is talking more so about the Mario movie.
In my opinion, I agree that it didn't try in the same aspect Sonic 1 didn't try in that they were playing it as safe as possible.
Yeah, because I guess what I'm trying to like put into words is why, because objectively, from a story perspective, looking at things objectively, all these movies, Mario, not only Mario, but also Sonic 1 and even the FNAF movie, were lacking from a story point. They all have lacking parts.
Absolutely, yeah.
But to me, there was something that set Mario, the Mario movie, apart from Sonic and FNAF, that left a worse taste in my mouth than Sonic or FNAF did. And I know it's not just brand bias, because even though I like FNAF, I don't give two flying fucks about Sonic. That's why my brain is kind of like, why?
You're looking for heart. In your view, you don't see heart or some sort of like huge character passion put in them as much as the last.
Yeah, I'd say that's a perfect. Like, I don't see heart in the Mario movie the same way, or heart in this Minecraft movie the same way. I don't really see as much heart in.
I agree. I also think that's the only way they were going to get a Mario movie out, if it didn't have any heart and was very like by the books, because Nintendo does not have a good experience with Mario movies.
Yeah, God, that was bad.
Last time there was a Mario
President
movie,
Koopa,
they tried to have heart and be
heart is exactly what I meant when I tried to like use that word, like being faith. Was it faithful that I used, or like what was the word I used?
Exactly? I think something
faithful
like that
seems like a good word to use.
Camilla, it's been 5 minutes. I forgot.
I'm stupid.
Okay. Relating that back to the Minecraft movie, I completely agree in terms of the Minecraft movie, because they mentioned, like, even you can see it in the trailer. It's like, oh, look at that cool reference. Those are the fly boots from one of the knockoff games. Look at that. That's one of the mobs from the knockoff games. Look at that. It's fucking Vegeta. Look at that. A very specific one was in the trailer. There was a semi-automatic chicken cooker, whereas like there was the chicken and then the lava came down and then the cooked chicken just came out. Like that's a very clear reference for like Redstoners. And then also they
just like a lot of people who just played the game.
Do you say Redstoners as in like a red colored weed?
No,
it's fuck up.
Redstone is.
Don't tell me you don't know what Redstone is.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't play Minecraft. I don't know what to tell you. He doesn't play Minecraft.
I play
you can't even be upset if he doesn't play the game.
The most frequently I played Minecraft was in like 2nd grade.
Redstone is basically like wiring. It's like electricity. It's their version of electricity.
It's how you can like automate
things. I'm messing with you.
Oh, you're an asshole.
See what I mean, Kush?
Fuck you. No, this guy's an asshole. I hate that guy. Another thing that honestly just also kind of left a bad taste in my mouth is that they said they're going to have like a tribute to Technoblade, which I think overall is a kind of good thing, but it also feels like, hey, fans, come, we're talking about your favorite YouTuber that died.
Okay, so
that to me feels kind of scummy. I did not like that.
And like, I mean, no offense, but that is completely for fans, because for someone like me, I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Why would you even reference him?
Absolutely. No, I completely understand that. I completely understand that.
I also think I can kind of put what you mean more into words, because because like I guess take kind of for instance like Black
Are you
Panther,
talking
like
about me
Wakanda
or
Forever
Kush?
was kind of towards Kush,
Okay.
where I guess it was kind of like this movie
This
is gonna,
motherfucker
like,
looked away.
deal with the actor's name for Black Panther. I'm dumb and I don't really remember his name.
Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah, or I guess what I mean is like the Minecraft movie is not about the Minecraft community. It is about Minecraft.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
to have a part of the Minecraft community, that's where it feels kind of.
I mean, there are also a lot of like cameos that are going to be in the movie. Like, I think Mumbo Jumbo is going to be in the movie. Valkyrie is going to be in the movie. A couple other Minecraft YouTubers are going to be in there, and that just feels like that's kind of weird. And also, the way Technoblade is like perceived there is like he's the hero of the village. He saved the village one time, and they're like incorporating him into the story, which I kind of like think is like, I guess that's like the best way you can do it.
Yeah, and like
it's
nice that he's like.
I feel like you don't have to do that to get people to come. You have to make a good movie to get people to come, and you did not do that. You were using Technoblade as an advertising point. The fact that they even mentioned that before the movie came out shows that they're using it as an advertising point. Like, think of MatPat in the FNAF movie. We never knew MatPat was going to be in the movie until we saw the movie. And then we see something like this, and they're using like this YouTuber's death as like an advertisement. It's like jingling their keys. It's like, hey, come to watch the movie. Follow
Black
the keys,
Panther 2 be like.
Exactly, like Wakanda Forever.
I'm gonna be honest. I think the movie should have just been canceled. I don't think it was good enough to really be worth coming out. I think they should have just canned it and figured something else out.
Honestly, that's all I have to say on the Minecraft movie. It's gonna be a fun time. It's gonna be a goofy time. I think what's gonna happen is I'm gonna treat it like Space Jam 2. I'm probably gonna go with you two and be like, hey, you want to go watch this stupid fucking movie? Okay, let's get to Sonic. Sonic.
Hey, wait, one sec. We got it.
Oh yeah. Are you doing the pose? That was so.
Can you feel life
moving through your mind? Looks like you came back for more.
All right, so Sonic movie. So first off, if you haven't
let's get
seen
our
it in theaters,
general thoughts on the Sonic.
Well, let me just get. If you haven't seen it in theaters and you don't want to be spoiled, see it in theaters or it is on streaming now.
It is?
Yeah.
Is it on PS5?
No.
Okay, I just want to explain that. I just want to explain the context for that real quick. Me, Camilla, Hunter, Justin, and Lalit.
And Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Wait. Okay. Well, we went to the theater to watch Sonic 3, and behind Hunter and I was this kid. Like, we were there, like, when the trailers and, like, commercials were still there. And this kid...
It didn't sound as a kid as much as, like, a
stupid, least, like, teenager.
At least like 16. I'm going to be honest. I looked at him. He kind of looked like he'd be closer to 20s and 30s, and I think that's way funnier.
Okay. So this 20, oh my God. Okay, so this 20 to 30-year-old guy just kept seeing the trailers, and he leaned over to his friend that was with him, and he's like, is that on PS5? Is that on PS5? Is that on PS5? It was like, it was a movie trailer. What if that was a movie trailer? And he was like, is this on PS5? Like, dude, pay attention.
It shows like a toy ad for like a brand new Beyblade, and it's like, is this on PS5?
Is this on PS5? It's like,
yes,
oh my God, Pepsi. Is this on PS5?
Walmart.
Joe Biden.
Is this on PS5?
All right,
Sonic, let's get some general thoughts.
You know what? Let's not do too spoilery of you. I mean, I guess we could.
It's been like a month since the movie came out.
Yeah, you're right.
I feel like we're in a fair territory to talk.
Worst case, spoiler warning.
Okay. Spoiler warning. Ding, 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 ding.
Spoiler warning if you hate Tiny Tom.
Oh, if you hate Tiny Tom, yeah.
I love Tiny Tom.
I love Tiny Tom too. That was so funny.
My favorite joke in the movie, unironically, has to be when Maddie tells Tom to get rid of Tiny Tom. He's like, I told you to get rid of that a while ago. And Tiny Tom's like, and I told you to get rid of her a while ago.
That was such a funny joke.
Oh, wait, okay, actually, other favorite joke that might take the cake is...
I know exactly which one you're talking about.
Is it the military?
I can't believe it.
I know, grandson.
A woman in the military.
Like, I will say, that was, like, a little bit kind of like a, ooh, but also,
That was,
come on, that's pretty funny.
First off, it was hilarious. Second off, there's no ooh there, because it also makes sense. He's been isolated for, like, 50, 60 years.
That's true. He's been isolated in prison for, like, 50 years, so it makes sense.
Although
but
that
it
is
also
a really
is just
funny
kind of like
concept
a,
for him to be saying that, since he brought Maria to a military base, you know, a woman.
That's a good point, actually. It's like, this is your fault, you know. This was all you.
This is all you. You started this.
You started it.
I felt so bad. You thought that, like, I forgot what his name was. You thought the main military guy would just be a generic kind of guy you never cared about, just gave you a nice Olive Garden card. But, like, I then genuinely felt bad because he was the one person that was, like, trying to be on Maria's
Commander
side.
Walters.
And Shadow, like, he was actually nice, and Shadow blamed him.
Yeah,
and I felt so bad. And then he fucking died.
Yeah, that was a very, like, unfortunate. I think it was a very good writing point, though.
Yeah,
I think it was a great writing point. They did a fantastic job with that.
And I love all the subtle little things, like Sonic when he's thinking rationally, telling Tom and Maddie, the Master Emerald is too powerful for any of us to use. It's irresponsible. And then Tom gets his ass kicked by Shadow.
Give me the goddamn emerald. Give it to me.
And then Sonic snaps and immediately. I also love the entire Knuckles show was building up to Knuckles trusting Wade with the Master Emerald.
I will say, I'm actually very happy with how they executed that, where they actually, like, made the Knuckles show semi worth watching.
If it wasn't,
okay. I think Shea Frillis phrased it the best way possible, which I'm gonna re-say here.
Sure.
They made it a good nod if you watched the Knuckles show, but didn't make the Knuckles show require watching.
Exactly.
Where it's like, if you hadn't seen the Knuckles show, it was just like, oh, hey, it's that funny guy from the previous movie.
Yeah.
That Knuckles just so happens to trust. So it wasn't required, but it was a nice nod if you...
It was the funny thing, because us in the theater were like, yeah, it's Wade.
Because it's like, Wade got the development from the training with Knuckles to the point where it's like, that makes sense why Knuckles would entrust him with the Master Emerald. I will say, I get what the person said and what you said about not needing it. I agree and disagree, because I will say, if it's just the funny man that never talked to Knuckles once, it is kind of like a why the fuck does Wade have the Master Emerald?
Well, yeah, but again, it's not something you're going to question that much.
It's a thing where, like, you don't need to watch it technically, but it also answers so many questions that appear in such a short time period.
Not really.
You know, Wade could use the Master Emerald and become, like, Super Wade.
Yeah. That's not a joke. He can use the Master Emerald.
Yeah, but it's just like... Okay, how do I...
Also, that's context to the Flames of Disaster.
Yeah,
we didn't understand that. Like, well, I guess we understood that because that's semi in the game.
You don't technically need the Knuckles show, but I think without the Knuckles show, you are going to be a bit confused on why the fuck Wade... Like, it literally...
Okay, but you'll be confused for a single scene.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Before it gets back into it. It's not like the MCU where the prior shows are required watching to understand the fundamental concepts of the movie.
Sure.
Here is a cute cameo that where if you didn't watch it, you'll be a little confused for like 10 seconds, but you really won't think much about it in the grand scheme of the entire.
And then you'll probably Google it later and be like, oh, it's because of that one show.
Super Wade probably rivals Uncle Grandpa.
He would say, glad I wasn't that guy. Wade would say that.
Something they didn't touch on because there wasn't time, like, because they used the emeralds just basically as the whole Super Saiyan kind of like anime fight between Sonic and Shadow.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to learn more about this universe's emeralds because, to my knowledge, in OG Sonic, they don't have the power to just generate things and create things like in Sonic Movie 2. That's a huge power that I feel like we're glossing over.
Another thing is, didn't we see how, like, Knuckles made a weaker that was the weaker Master Emerald, and then in Sonic Movie 2, the other Chaos Emeralds like scattered throughout the world, right? Am I correct on that?
Yeah.
So where are those? I feel like that's a big point you could use towards like.
I will say, on one hand, I want to see that. On the other hand, I don't agree with doing it as a movie. I think it would take too much. If you just gloss over them getting the emeralds from around the world, then you didn't do enough, and that's lazy writing. But if you do too much, then it takes too long, and it's going to bore people if you don't do it right.
That's why I feel like.
But I thought like the Master Emerald was like the main emerald. Like there aren't any other ones.
There are 7 others.
Yeah, 7 others.
But it splits into the 7.
It splits into the 7, then he used the remains to make a Master Emerald.
I think the Chaos Emeralds could be used in the aspect that
it's a catalyst to the Master. I feel
like
that's
we've seen the Master Emerald turn into the 7 Chaos Emeralds.
Well, no, because they shouldn't have the Master Emerald anymore, because Shadow should have it.
Shadow, by all means, Shadow should have it.
Because
Shadow was half of it, right?
No, he would have the whole... Because Sonic went out of his super transformation and fell to the earth, and Shadow was still super. That's kind of a thing with Sonic, where it's like, how the hell does it work when multiple people go super at once? So it's sort of like, in that sense, it makes more sense that Shadow has the Master Emerald. So that would make more sense. And then it also works for... Since the Master Emerald is more Game Emerald size, you can work for his Chaos control better if you want to use that later on.
It could also, I could totally see that as like a Knuckles Season 2. Where
I think there are a lot of people talking less.
The Chaos Emerald.
I didn't think about it. There are a lot of people talking about Shadow and Knuckles kind of doing a show together. I just, reminder, well, like, as in that they want to see a Shadow.
Oh, okay.
At the end of the day, a TV show budget is going to be way less, and especially on Paramount Plus, it won't be that profitable if they don't do it right. If there is a Shadow show instead of a movie, don't expect it to have a lot of humans and stuff.
Yeah,
a lot more practical stuff, because it won't be able to afford a movie model.
The only thing is, though, which I think would be the hardest part, is going off the existing, what we know from the existing Sonic. The only humans that watchers really care about are Eggman and Stem. And having Jim Carrey again for a show in addition to the movie, I think would be too high of a budget. Again, for a TV show, like having him be the main character for an entire TV show, I think would just about be as expensive as CGI.
All I'm saying, this is what Wade's for.
Yeah, honestly, I would.
But the thing is that a lot of people don't like Wade.
I like him, so I don't care.
Well, yeah, no. We like him. But that might not be what Paramount. But like the creators see, a lot of people hated the Knuckles show because
it wasn't the Knuckles show; it was the Wade show. But like, no one hated Wade. People just hated that.
No, a lot of people found Wade kind of insufferable.
I disagree.
I
found his sister insufferable. God, his sister.
Oh yeah, his sister was awful.
No, you guys are saying you like him. Props to you.
No,
you guys,
I agree.
Of what I have seen, people have generally not liked him.
No, I get that.
I agree and disagree, because from what I know, Knuckles performed relatively well, and whether people say they like him or not online, Paramount is going to look at that from a pure number statistic. At the end of the day, there are plenty of human characters through the Sonic franchise, and like that you really could work with. You could introduce the Admiral guy from the original Sonic games that was a kid when Maria was a kid. Most of the Tom, Maddie, Stone, they're all additions to the movies. And you don't even have to play to it. I would maybe call the character Sam Speed or something, but who cares if it's big? On that, I would love to see Sam Speed return. The idea of some guy investing all of his money into making a car fast enough to beat Sonic and still losing is hilarious.
I know, right?
You know what I want to see in a Shadow show? A Shadow Stone dynamic. If Shadow were to have a supporting human, I think of what I know from Stone. I am not a Sonic fan. I only really know the movies. I want it to be Stone because he and Shadow did kind of build up a bit of a interaction with the
Revenge.
They interacted.
With the
I feel
Revenge Squad.
Shadow pretty openly didn't like him.
Yeah.
Not really.
I don't think it was he didn't like him. I think it was just he wasn't yippee about him. But he wasn't yippee about anyone because it's fucking Shadow.
Shadow Like, it is, you have to tell the right story. I don't think Shadow and Stone.
Well, no, I think they could, because with Stone, I think they could have an interesting story of Shadow helping Stone deal with the loss of Robotnik.
Shadow can't help Stone with that.
Yeah, I'm gonna be on it. Like,
you don't know enough about Sonic to know Shadow well enough, but if they keep with Shadow being consistent to the lore, Shadow can't help with that. Shadow's a loner and is constantly going through his trauma with Maria. Sonic is usually just able to get Shadow convinced enough to make him help with something.
That's what, like, Amy was in Adventure 2.
Yeah, and in this one, it was Sonic. Shadow never gets over Maria and never will. It's just he realized that wasn't what Maria wanted. Shadow is overall a loner. At most, you could get like Rouge or Omega with him, and even then, he feels like he tolerates them. Shadow, the problem is it depends. I think if they were to put it on YouTube or put it on Netflix or something, I think I could argue for them having a higher budget and doing a shorter series, but it's on Paramount Plus.
Yeah.
So,
and that's going to be like one hell of a budget.
Only other thing is, I feel like Keanu would require a pretty high budget as well.
That's another thing that I thought about, and even then, like,
if you're talking in numbers, they still got Idris Elba and
that's true.
Knuckles. So that's kind of the thing. It needs to be budgeted. I don't think Knuckles is like the best written show of all time. I think it is a bit of a dumb fun, I'm enjoying myself kind of thing. But I will say, I think years from now, when people get over the fact it was advertised as a Knuckles show and it wasn't exactly what they got or thought they were going to get, I think people are going to be much more fond of a Knuckles show.
Yeah.
You see that happen all the time, where there are people that are like knee-jerk, it's different, or it's not what I expected, and then don't like it, and then they come back and really like it. So I think Sonic Boom is a great example. Sonic Boom, like the show, wasn't what anyone wanted. They thought of the games and stuff, but looking back from what I can see, it's like Sonic Boom was fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Sonic Boom's peak Eggman. Let's say our favorite thing from Sonic 3, and then let's go to Sonic 4.
I think my favorite thing from Sonic 3 was either the big fight that Sonic and Shadow had against the Gundams or the dap up they had.
Yeah. I think
those were two just amazing moments.
I think my favorite part
at the beginning of the movie where they had like the riff from oh my god, that gave me chills.
I think my favorite part was probably the fight with Sonic and Shadow.
This reminded me, hey Kush, do you want to know what my favorite part of the Sonic movie was?
Is it the woman thing?
I don't think it's the woman thing.
It's when they played I Am All of Me.
They didn't play I Am All of Me. They never played it. I don't know what this Mandela effect you had was, but you were always like, that's I Am All of Me. No, it's not. I Am All of Me never played in the movie.
We saw the credits.
Yeah, we saw the credits. They credited Live and Learn. They credited City Escape. They did not credit I Am All of Me.
I think Sonic Movie 3's fight between Sonic and Shadow was more anime than the Sonic anime. And I think that's kind of funny.
It was really anime.
The initial Sonic X, when they did the second part with the Meta Rex, that was anime as shit.
Well, let's get on with
Sonic 4. Okay, so
Sonic
let's just... I'll recap what happened in the post-credit, and then we'll go from there. So post-credit, right before the credit, Sonic was racing Tails and Knuckles, just for context. So Sonic ends up in New York, and he's like, well, shit, I overshot it. And then Metal Sonic shows up like a Terminator and is like getting ready to shoot Blue Hedgehog. And then he shoots, and then it's like Sonic's like, my guy, from behind him.
Man, you're shit at this.
And then a shit ton more Metal Sonics come up, all silver this time. Then Amy shows up. She's like, oh, and throws her hammer around.
Fucking obliterates a bunch of them.
Yeah, she throws her hammer around and annihilates all of them. And then takes her hood off. Which is for us, because Sonic's just going to be fucking confused. Like,
yeah.
What do you want?
Also, just saying, the shot of the broken moon in the background went so hard.
Oh yeah. No, the moon looked so good.
Because they pissed on the moon. God. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's what
I did really like that, like not being expected, and Eggman and Tails or whatever.
It's like, oh my god.
Yeah. I will say, I like how much, something I really like about the movie, promotion-wise, is how much they built up Sonic and Eggman teaming up. We always knew they were going to fall apart, but it made it feel like it was going to be most of the movie, and it was like 5 seconds.
But then they, like, rekindled, and...
Not really. It was more Robotnik being like, oh, well, shit, I like the Earth. All my stuff is there.
Made Sonic, help a brother out. It's like
Hey,
that's
Sonic, dab me up while you're at it.
Hey Sonic, got your quill. I'm gonna go make a metal Sonic.
Also, Eggman's totally alive, but that's a different. So, Jim Carrey says he wants to return. Shadow survived. They're gonna find a way to. Eggman is alive.
Though he fucking exploded in
Shadow
the sky.
exploded too.
Yeah, but he's an alien. He's a creature. He's not a human.
I think he fucking died of it. They're just gonna find a way. Eggman should have died from the second movie battle.
No, but he just tripped. All that happened. All he did was trip.
That's actually, I will say, I hope that doesn't become a theme. I don't mind it for these two movies, but if Eggman keeps coming back after killing him at the end of the movie, that's gonna get old and annoying.
It's gonna be the Team Rocket.
Like, I get why they're doing it. They're doing it
for this movie. Yeah, I can especially see why, and even kind of for the previous movie as well.
I like it now. I just think, and it makes sense because
if it's something done at the end of every single movie, it's going to get done.
Something done at Sonic 4, 5, 6, or something like that. It's going to get old. I get why they did it these two times, especially with Jim Carrey, them not knowing if he'll return or not.
Exactly, and that makes sense. But it's okay, you've kind of used your pass.
They've used it, and they used it differently both times. Both times worked. It's just, and I'm not going to pretend
we don't want to see any more of that.
Yeah, I'm not going to pretend in the games it's not like Eggman doesn't survive explosions or is stuck in infinite nothingness where time doesn't exist and then somehow escape.
Elaborate on that.
Oh, so at the end of Sonic Generations, him and past Eggman and past Eggman are stuck in this white void of nothingness, no time and stuff like that. And they're just
Sonic Generations, you said.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then is he back for Sonic Generations 2? Is there a Sonic Generations 2?
Kinda.
Sort of. Yes, no.
Sonic X Shadow Generations? Or?
Yeah. For a lot of concept art things, like Robotnik being a king, there's Sonic CD. It's very Sonic CD.
Yeah.
I will say before, I don't want Silver in this. Silver either gets his own movie or I don't want it to fall in the trap of Transformers, where they introduce so many characters, not all of them could be characters.
Yeah.
Also, that's because that's not Michael Bay's writing style.
The Sonic series has done a wonderful job at introducing characters.
I will say, I keep saying before we touch, they need to figure out a good timing and better marketing for the next ones, because although it is working now with their 400 and this time 420 million, that is not sustainable. The hype is going to go down, and it needs to make double its budget. It's barely making a bit over that. It's doing fine, but it's not like...
And that was this time being, oh shit, they have Shadow the fucking Hedgehog.
Shadow the Hedgehog.
With Keanu Reeves.
Yeah. That's
they're not going to get that again.
If you were to tell me Paramount was hoping for peak of Transformers where they were billion-dollar movies every single time, then they got 420 million. That's not bad for the budget. But the budget's going to have to keep going up as they add more characters. On top of that, it's not sustainable because eventually it's probably going to start losing a bit of money and go more to 390, 380, 370. If it's already barely making its budget back, I don't think that's a healthy tracker. If the next movie makes 500 million, I think that's perfectly fine for what the franchise's general budget is. If it can't make more than this movie, then I think it's probably on a limited time.
Especially because, objectively, I think this will be seen as the best Sonic the Hedgehog movie.
I think
that's my theory. I know that's big words, and there's a very good chance I'm proven wrong.
The thing is, although I don't want to disagree because it was a banger movie, they've gotten better every single time.
Yeah.
They have gotten better every single time.
It's one of the few franchises that gets better with each installment.
Oh,
in my opinion, I think what's different is every single movie they're more willing to embrace what Sonic is.
But another thing I'm going to see is going game wise, how high up is Sonic Adventure 2 on best Sonic the Hedgehog game?
Oh, that's
it's some of people's favorites. It's one of the
See, this movie held heavily on adapting the story of Sonic Adventure 2. Was so heavily had Shadow the fucking Hedgehog with Keanu
Shadow
Reeves.
is one of the most popular characters, but I don't think we can dismiss Metal Sonic still.
Of course, but like Metal Sonic, like as someone who doesn't know Sonic, Metal Sonic isn't as recognizable as Shadow the fucking Hedgehog himself.
The thing is, it also comes
voiced
from
by Keanu Reeves.
It also comes from Sonic CD, which didn't, to my knowledge, did not perform great.
Sonic CD is very weird because they're just kind of in between the games. Because there's Sonic 1, 2, 3, and Knuckles.
It's like, I think it's like from a production point, I have no doubt that things are just going to be getting better.
Yeah.
However, publicity / content wise, I don't know if they'll be able to top Shadow the fucking Hedgehog and the plot of Sonic Adventure 2.
I think
they definitely can.
Double Jim Carrey, fucking a child getting shot.
I will say I think they can because they didn't kill Shadow. If you're putting a trailer
He's still
together,
alive and well, so
yeah, if you're putting Shadow, Metal Sonic, Sonic, Silver, and even though more obscure, it's gonna get out because it's Shadow, he's back. And also release it not next to fucking Lion King.
Yeah, God.
I think this would have been like a $500-600 million movie if they didn't put it, I don't know, next to Lion King.
Yeah, I think I would have gotten a lot more if only because Lion King stole a bunch of the people who don't know about Sonic.
I also think on that aspect, I think if Sonic didn't come out at the same time, I think Lion King would have been $1 billion movie by now.
Yeah.
So I think both of them took from each other. What I hope to see is a complete redefinition of Amy as a character. Not complete. I want her to keep her compassion needs to be there. I think she needs to be the most compassionate one. But I think otherwise, you need to revitalize her. I liked her in Sonic Frontiers. I thought they did a great job. But I also in general, Amy's just there. I want them to keep the element of Sonic, or not Sonic, Amy liking Sonic, maybe mix it up a bit, but don't make it her character trait. Don't make that her main thing.
I'd like it to be a situation of Wild Style in the Lego movie, where it was like, this badass character comes down and he's like, oh, this guy's pretty cool. And then slowly throughout the movie develops those feelings. And then for future projects, it's like, oh my gosh, that's Sonic the Hedgehog. Oh, he's so cool, but I'm still a badass.
Yeah, I think Sonic Prime, I thought, did a good job with Amy, too. Her variants. Normal Amy didn't get time to shine because that was the point of Sonic Prime. But I thought her variants, specifically the jungle one, Amy doesn't have much of a point in being there at the moment, and I think she needs that.
Can I voice a theory I have?
Yeah, no, that's the whole point. I'm pretty much done with what I had to say.
Okay, great. So we see that the Sonic 4 is going to be very heavily inspired off of Sonic CD.
Well, okay. Sorry, I just...
How? It's like less than a sentence in.
I know, I'm just saying, at least from concept art, they could always change it, because, same thing, things change in development. It's probably going to be CD, but we can see. All right, that's it.
Right.
Well, I mean, because Sonic 2 took from Sonic 3 and Knuckles.
Not really, no.
There was a mix of Sonic 3 and Knuckles and Sonic
2. Knuckles shows up, and there's the Master Emerald, and that's kind of it.
It's the main inspiration. Let's go with that.
Yeah, main inspiration. And then... Sonic Adventure 2.
We're going off of the basis that Sonic 4 is going to be based off of Sonic CD. What I thought is the main, gameplay gimmick in there was time travel. I thought it could be interesting if it was Sonic went so fucking fast that he went into the goddamn future.
Back to the Future, be like?
Yeah, literally, it's going to be Back to the Future. He goes to the future, and he's like, oh, that's Metal Sonic. Hi, Amy girl that I think I know. All right, what's going on here?
Hello, Amy.
Eggman's still alive. He came back years later or something, and he's going to destroy your world. So you got to go. You got to help us in the future. Then you got to go back. Then you got to go back to the future. Then you got to go back to the present.
And then you got to save Doc.
Then you got to save Doc. Tur Eggman. So I feel like that's my leading theory, is that it's going to be time travel, which I don't mind, but I feel like I would rather see maybe a different universe, and then they come down to attack because they're like, this is the universe that Eggman won. Let's go to the other universes and rule them too. You know what I mean? Damn, you guys do not give a fuck.
No, I do. I'm just...
No, I'm sorry. I'm kind of brain dead. It's been like 2.5 hours.
Yeah, it's been a long time. We've talked way too much about other things.
No, well, that's kind of the whole point.
Yeah, that's true. Welcome to MallTalk.
And
that was the entire cold open.
That was the cold open. Now to get into MallTalk.
First, I want to hear your thoughts on the theory.
I like it. I think that makes sense. I would prefer if they didn't do time travel.
What would you prefer, like
universal
travel, or just have it like within the same timeline, just have it still linear?
I don't know. I don't know what I want entirely, but although time travel would be fun and see like a bad future, it's also at the same time kind of like
that feels like a Silver thing.
Not that as much as it just. I feel like it could get a bit complicated, and Sonic movies are going to be for little kids more, and it's like the amount of moving parts that could be there. I don't think it'd be the end of a world. I think kids are smarter than what we give them credit for as we're all grown ups. I wouldn't mind time travel, but I feel like it would have to be limited. Maybe, how about... No, I would just personally, I would either do it, Amy comes back and is just here to save her future from happening, or she gets Sonic and recruits him because he was born before her time and she needs help defeating Metal. Something like that.
Well, I don't want to say help defeating Metal, but more so defeating all of the Metals, because she can fuck up the Metals. She can fuck them up, but I'm not sure. Because again, we know nothing. Yeah. To have an assumption now is going to be difficult. It's going to be easier for us to take guesses about the upcoming Shadow spinoff, which at the moment we do not know if it is going to be a movie or a TV show. I think the leading thought is that it's going to be a TV show because it's going to be generally cheaper.
Yeah.
Isn't it kind of funny how TV show budgets are cheaper when they require more money and are from a time point are longer than a movie? Because like 30-minute episodes is as long as a 3-hour movie, which most movies don't even go that long.
I will say, when we got the whole thing of learning what the budgets were and how She-Hulk was like a $220 million budget, and it's
but that's Marvel.
Yeah, I know.
But it's still like a general thing for the industry.
TV shows don't do us. I agree with.
They don't do as well, but they required more money.
You're not going to see as much attention to a TV show in general as you would on a YouTube video. I really think anymore. That's what there are a lot of older Transformers fans. So there's a new Transformers show coming out, and it was announced that it's going to debut. All the episodes that will debut on YouTube.
Oh.
And I think, and I'm gonna. All credit goes to Proto Man from the Slag podcast on for Transformers on YouTube, because I completely agree, and he's also smarter than me on this kind of stuff. So, all kids are on YouTube. That's where they are. It's gonna get way more views on YouTube than it ever would on Cartoon Network, Paramount Plus, or Netflix.
Because kids aren't going to go out of their way to go on another platform. They're already on YouTube, so if it's on YouTube, it's all the better.
Now, it depends how they execute it, of course. If they execute it well, good advertising and stuff, they'll work out. It's just, I do think that is the right direction of putting it on YouTube, because that's where kids are. That's where everyone is. So you don't.
That's where I am. YouTube.com/.
You don't block anyone out from budget and not being able to afford a streaming service. And the kids are already on their phone. They don't want to get on the TV.
Yeah.
And no one has Paramount Plus.
Yeah.
You're going to make, I just think that's the right direction for Hasbro. I think there's a lot of things they need to work on with and trying to get their brands to stay relevant. And I think this is the right direction. If it'll work out, I don't know, but I agree with the direction. I think if you're a franchise trying to make money nowadays and trying to get your eyes on, you need merchandise in the stores. I do think that. You still need that, and it needs to be high quality. But that's an afterthought for after you have a TV show that preferably is on YouTube or something, and you have a really good game, like a Marvel Rivals kind of thing. Right. I think Marvel Rivals has re-sparked a lot of interest. I think Transformers as a brand would be... It's a shame Transformers Reactivate, the game was canceled just due to development hell and stuff. It just didn't work out. But I think a really good Transformers game, or a really good Mega Man game, or something like that, just a really good game of a franchise people are familiar with, and so they're like, I'll give it a try. The gameplay looks nice, and I like Optimus Prime. It's going to help a lot. And then obviously crossovers too, put Optimus Prime and Angry Birds, or I don't think Angry Birds is what it used to be, but like whatever's popular with the kids now. God.
Like I feel like Fall Guys and like Fortnite are like the big ones.
Fortnite Battle Pass.
I want to make it clear. I just said like kids these days. I'm really young to be saying.
Like we are, the three of us are like, we're all 19, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we're, fuck.
Gosh.
Damn.
Okay.
Do we have any ending thoughts on?
No, I'll say for Sonic as a franchise, if they put out a really good game, Sonic Frontiers was the step in the right direction. Same with Shadow X Generations. Like they did well.
Yeah.
But like a really great game, everyone wants to play, even if it's a generic game. Marvel Rivals is a great example of it's a really generic game concept of a shooter that just got really popular because they did it so well. And made some interesting character designs. There's a lot of things companies need to catch up on because I feel like they're a bit behind. They're marketing like it's with 2010s and stuff still, and they need to change that. But
well, a part of that is because some of the marketing comes on like X, which honestly I don't use anymore. But like X like advertised Mr. Fantastic with like some Gear 4 art for Luffy, which obviously like Gear 4 didn't inspire Mr. Fantastic. Mr. Fantastic inspired Gear 4.
And then Doomblazer had a little video on that.
Yeah, and then Doomblazer made a video on that. Shout out Doomblazer.
Shout out Doomblazer.
We're sounding like Matt Pat begging for like a Diet Coke sponsorship.
Hey, Hasbro. I actually will say
Doomblazer.
With like kids brands, I like a good example, I guess, would be iShowSpeed, Logan Paul, or whatever. Like what the kids are generally watching, Mr. Beast,
like Kai Cenat, like
Kai Cenat. Whether I'm a fan of them or not, especially at my age, if that's where the kids are watching, if you were Hasbro and you sent Kai Cenat a box of the brand new Transformers toys, and he advertised the show and the toys, I think that's going to add a lot more intrigue. Because kids care a lot more about what YouTubers think than they used to.
Yeah, it's like
if Moist
that
Critical,
was like that was the entire advertising for the Chicken Big Mac. Was that hey Kai Cenat, he likes the Chicken Big Mac. You should go try the Chicken Big Mac. It's like, come on, man, this is lazy.
Yeah, but it worked.
But if
It
worked.
Is it lazy, or is it's different from what we're used to, and it's more strategic and logical approach for the modern scene?
It's likely that, but we're old and we can complain now.
Yeah, we're already on the get off our
I'm sure people did like the same when like Kevin Hart was doing it for like Chase.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Those are I remember liking those.
I did too.
Well, that's because like Kevin Hart's a comedian.
Yeah. Oh, it's almost a comedian makes it funny. Oh, my favorite.
Wow, and I never would have guessed that.
A great Super Bowl ad is still that one where Will Ferrell goes all the way to fucking Norway because he's like, these fuckers have electric cars and we're losing to Norway.
Is that real?
What?
Is that real?
I'll show you the video after this.
Okay.
It's like, I remember that Super Bowl ad. He was basically like, we're behind Norway? Or maybe it was Greenland.
Norway out of everyone?
Maybe it was Greenland. I think it was Norway. It's been like, I was still in high school.
We're acting like that's a long time ago, but what was that, like 2 years ago?
It really is, though.
Yeah.
Wait, I think this is just advice for us. I think we need to slow down, start enjoying the more simple things, and not... Like, one thing I'm trying to do is I'm really excited for the Pokemon Presents next month. I want to see what that gets shown off, or the Switch 2 getting shown off, or just other stuff coming later in the year. I'm trying to slow down on being so focused on what's next and focus on what's now. Even the small things, like it's such a beautiful day with the snow on the trees. I think...
Can't relate.
Yeah, because you're in Texas.
Yeah, I'm in Texas. I just didn't see snow. Okay.
You're gonna fucking... Shut the fuck up.
What?
But it's like... Just sort of like slowing down, enjoying more what's in the moment rather than looking forward to it. Pokemon Day is going to come no matter what. But if I keep looking for it, then 5 weeks are going to go by like it was like that. Yeah. Or if I try to not think about it that much, I'm enjoying the moment. I'm looking at my Dillard the pickle and...
Dillard the pickle?
Yeah, Dillard.
No, show her Dillard.
Dillard.
Wait.
Emotional support pickle.
It's Dillard.
Isn't he cool?
I want to make it clear.
I love that. I don't think his name.
I actually Dillard. I think I came up
His
with
name
that.
is Dillard, and I love that.
Yeah, I
Now
call
his name
I
is
love
Dillard.
him.
His name is
I
Dillard.
love him.
Yeah,
Hi, Dillard.
Hunter, guess what?
You love Dillard?
I love him. I love him so much.
Oh, Dillard just knocked over Goku. We have a new power ranking.
Yep.
Underst- yeah.
Dillard could solo Uncle Grandpa. All I'm saying.
Dillard.
I'm just saying, Dillard.
Oh,
I'm just
Dillard
saying,
could solo Walter
it's-
White. Just saying.
Goku, Kool-Aid Man, Uncle Grandpa, Dillard.
I will say, this is random, but just with the power stuff, like, it made me think of Superman and how, like, I think they've been doing better with Superman recently. Like, I liked the Adventures of Superman show's interpretation of him being a lot more, like, fun. It's just, like, the Superman clones, like, your Omni-Man, that guy from The Boys, which I still haven't watched and really don't care to.
Homelander?
Yeah, Homelander.
I haven't watched The Boys. I just know about Homelander.
Your All Mights, like, stuff like that. Like, they're always done better than Superman. You know.
That's because superheroes are kind of bland. Like, Iron Man wouldn't be... I feel like Iron Man, like, wouldn't be nearly as popular if it weren't for, like, the charisma that Robert Downey Jr. brought to it.
I don't.
But that is a whole different can of worms.
I
agree.
Disagree because Iron Man was like, let's A-list is the top for this. Iron Man was like B-list, maybe C-list before Robert Downey Jr. And now he's like at the top of a mind. I don't think it's superheroes as much as just Superman hasn't been catering to what makes Superman interesting for a while. Superman's just been the generic big strong guy you bring in at the end of the movie to win, instead of playing to the more innocent Boy Scout nature that holds him back, what truly makes him him. So I think that's something I'm looking forward to with James Gunn's Superman. And guess what? We put another topic in the video.
God damn it!
You have to wrap up.
I have a homework assignment due in 3 hours.
Let's wrap it up. 3, 2, 1.
Talk about low budget
flights.
Podcast.
Yeah, that.
No food or movies.
We're
I'm
out
of here.
Oh shit.
And that is how Kush died.